Learning to grieve. So, in this moment, for people who are feeling that fairly very empty, because effectively grieving is effectively acknowledging pain, and that's effectively the choice of life, is to acknowledge pain. Where we go wrong is feeling that the pain is going to be forever, because ultimately the pain itself is only temporary. And effectively, once we access and acknowledge the pain for the truth of which it is, we can learn to heal and grieve. What's super important to understand here is that the grieving is taking place effectively because we feel we may have lost someone. Now, there's aspects of truth to this, and there's effectively aspects of manipulation. The aspects of truth is we may have lost someone. But the thing is that truthfully, this is where the manipulation takes place, is because we feel like we've lost someone forever. And that's where the manipulation takes place, because we feel we can never connect with this person again. We feel like this is all over. Now, for everyone, they're experiencing grief, or they're grieving it in different ways. However, what's super helpful and important is just to understand something very, very basic from this reality, and very, very basic raw truth of this reality. And that is that this reality is energetical. And literally speaking, the life force of one's soul is energetical. It's existing within all of us, not necessarily those who are still here, but those who are also continuing on now their new journey within the evolution of enlightenment, which does not just exist on this planet. It exists in the quantum universe, the quantum infinite possibility of expression of life, potential, frequency. So what we must understand is that everything is energetical. And even if someone is no longer here, or someone is still here but no longer with us, we must learn that the calculation to connecting with this person is acceptance. And that's grieving is representing acceptance in many different layers. But at the very raw base layer is acceptance, because we haven't yet been able to accomplish accepting things because our minds are still grieving. But we will understand that the base of the truth of the grief is that we haven't come to accept the terms of this yet. We haven't come to understand that it can be very tragic sometimes. And that's where it starts to get hurtful, because we can't get our minds to comprehend yet the truth of the reality. And that's why we must understand that if we want to accept the truth, and although in times it can be really horrifying to accept the truth, because we're just not ready for that, which is fine. That will come with time. But one thing that it will really help is understanding a very basic principle of life and reality, is that everything is energetical. And as long as we can connect energetically with the memories and the love of which we once experienced, that energy within the experience of those memories exist within us. We must stop looking outside of ourselves within the materialistic world and thinking that somebody needs to take the materialistic form for us to experience that once being. We must understand that as long as we come back to ourselves and experience the beautiful memories that we once experienced with these people, even if they're not here, or they're still on this planet, or they're not on this planet, that as long as we can come back and experience those memories within the energetical form of self, because energetically we are speaking And that engagement of energy in the past is always stored past, future, present. It's everything that has ever existed and will ever exist. So the person who may not be here now in this moment, as long as we can come back to the memories of them, although they may not be here in this moment, they are existing somewhere. And they are very much energetically entwined with us because it was their representation of frequency which has created that memory. And that memory is now resonating with our energetical awareness that effectively there is no past, future, or present. There is only the now moment. And through the manipulation of this reality, we feel that there is only a future, or there is only a past. And the more we get stuck in the future and the more we think of the past, the less we actually exist within this present now moment. And ultimately, that's the manipulation. So what's so important here is to understand is that there is truthfully no such thing as the past. There is no such thing as the future. And there is absolutely no such thing as the present, because the present represents the presence of manipulation, the manipulation of our minds, the manipulation of the potential of our true experience. What we must understand, what does exist, is effectively the now moment, which you could refer it to as the present moment. But even the present moment is now starting to get manipulated into thinking the present is really the past, because we're comparing the present moment as effectively the once was past. It's just so important to understand that everything is interconnected. And as long as we can focus now, in this moment, very much now, we can connect and close our eyes and understand that the person which is existing or has existed within our memories is very much with us. Everything is interconnected. And as long as we can practice basic principles of understanding and activating within the memories and choosing to connect with this person in the spiritual alignment of two interconnecting frequencies, we can definitely reunite with people who are no longer with us, or people who are with us on this planet but no longer are experiencing a life together. And that is ultimately how we can start to develop our ability to heal ourselves, is just by accepting. But in order to accept, we must understand that everything is interconnected. So although they may not be presenting themselves in a physical body or a physical connection, in the spiritual connection, nothing can ever take that away from us. We've always got someone within spiritual form, within the heart form. And that only exists within this now moment. It's almost like if we really want to cherish or connect with someone, it's all about connecting with them in this now moment, this present now moment.